While no one was hurt, the fire did burn through the top floor and the roof of the building, causing over $1 million in damages. Reporting in Boston, I'm Trevor Savage, WEBN. But don't think it stops with rooftop gardening for these two. Higher Ground Farm plans to move to lower ground as well, selling to local restaurants. Reporting live in Boston for WEBN, I'm Trevor Savage. President Obama is expected to arrive for an interfaith memorial service here at the Cathedral of the Holy Cross in Boston South End in just a few hours. Unfortunately forced once again to fulfill his duty as consoler-in-chief. This just 3 days after 2 bombs exploded at the finish line of the Boston Marathon, killing 3 people and injuring over 170 more. He'll be attending this service alongside First Lady Michelle Obama. Also expected to attend the service is former Massachusetts governor and former presidential candidate Mitt Romney. White House spokespeople announced yesterday the president is expected to touch on the nation's resolve and solidarity during his remarks today. Reporting live in Boston, I'm Trevor Savage, WEBN. Richard Feldman purchased this rifle legally back in 1988. He's working to ensure that responsible, law-abiding citizens can still do the same. President Obama is in campaign mode. Nearly 2,000 supporters were on hand to welcome the president to Southern Maine Community College. Mr. Obama listed his first-term accomplishments, especially change in the auto industry.
There were those who said, let Detroit go bankrupt, we didn't do it, and today GM is back on top as the world's #1 automaker.
Change in foreign policy.
Thanks to our brave men and women in uniform, Al-Qaeda is weaker than ever before, and Osama bin Laden is no more.
And change for gay Americans.
For the first time in history, you don't have to hide who you love in order to serve the country that you love.
He defined the upcoming election as a choice between different visions for America.
This is the defining issue of our time and a make-or-break moment for the middle class in this country. Who's going to be fighting for you?
All night, President Obama stayed on his 2008 campaign promise of change and bipartisan politics. Now it's up to voters to decide if he's delivered.
He deserves to be re-elected because of what he's done with the economy, in spite of great challenges, and particularly without any support from the Republican Party.
If you're a working person, a small business owner, he's by far the best shot that you're going to have anyone listen to the problems that we're having in the United States.
This was President Obama's last campaign stop for the month. Next week, he'll travel to South America. In South Portland, Trevor Savage, EIV News. All too often, soldiers come home from war with no easy path toward landing a job. That's a hard truth one man here in Boston is trying to change. I sat down with Yinon Weiss. He's a former U.S. Marine and the co-founder of Rally Point, a new Boston-based networking site built to serve military members just as they're serving us.
Networking to me was kind of a dirty word in the military. It meant that you're kind of going around the system.
Yinon Weiss served 10 years with the Marines and Army Special Forces. When he came home, as capable as he was at spearheading assaults and evading landmines, navigating the private sector job market was a mission he wasn't sure how to accomplish.
People in the private sector look for jobs. They network for jobs. They look for job postings, right? They get identified by recruiters. Jobs and careers in the military don't work that way.
So Weiss and Rally Point co-founder Aaron Kletzing are changing the way things work.
Now you can use your network to reach out to those folks.
Their site took top prize in the Mass Challenge competition, in part because it can help members of the military in ways no other tool can.
I would want to know, where in the military are there other West Point alums? Period. It's a simple idea. It's completely impossible until now to do that.
Rally Point operates out of the Innovation Labs in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now it can help military members all over the world, from Kabul to Azores to a small town in Maine.
Sometimes enlisted soldiers just aren't aware of their benefits or what they have at their hand, what they have for social networking.
Daniel Beatrice is home in Maine getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan later this year. He says being able to connect with the men he serves with, his comrades and commanders, is something the Army needs.
Even when you're done serving, you still look out for your brother and your fraternity. And, you're going to need people. Those people are going to need help. There are going to be people who are struggling to find jobs. And I think a site like this really could be great.
Now, Weiss and Koltzing say they're still adding features to the site Their next step is to make it easier for current military members to connect with veterans.
What we bring to the market is we bring creativity, new, fresh concepts that really haven't been done before.
If you ask Kevin Kruger about the t-shirts he designs, he says thinking outside the box comes naturally. Ask him about his now booming business, he says that's been years in the making.
2005, when you don't hit the revenue goals, like let's say selling zero that night, and you just got rained on and it snowed on and it's ice cold, that's the most disheartening.
Now, 6 years later, Kruger's creative, original ideas have translated into a thriving business, Supa Fan Streetwear.
You know, we decided to move out of our warehouse and into this store location that's in Kenmore Square. We do our street team from here, we do our web sales from here, and now this is our fourth sales channel, is the actual store.
When Kevin first started his business with a cart, he could only fit about 200 t-shirts at a time. That equals out to just about this corner of the store right here. Now, the store has thousands, and with the Super Bowl coming up, he's going to need every last one of them.
We got our staff unpacking boxes right now that we printed yesterday that we're shipping out tonight, tomorrow. People are still ordering.
Kruger says he didn't realize how far his business could go, but what he understands is the Supa importance of sports for New Englanders.
It's that token that like, it's that heirloom, you know what I mean? That you can always look back and remember that was that year. You know, it's a symbol of, you know, it's a symbol from a season, you know what I mean?
Kruger says he also plans to launch a clothing line for high schools and colleges here in New England. In Boston, I'm Trevor Savage, WEBN Sports.